What is up, everybody? Hey YouTube. Today we're looking at the 108 ruler of the Black Flame cards that have been revealed in Japan. This set is releasing in Japan on Friday, July 28th, and also coming to the US on August 11th. Now I know what you're thinking, it's a very short window. Yes, for the first time in a very, very long time, the US and Japan set releases are sort of coinciding. Yes, I know Japan got Pokemon 151 somewhere in there, but we'll be legal with these cards for the first time together, which will be sometime in September. But we're going to go ahead and look at the cards in Rule of the Black Flame, see if there's anything fun, spicy, competitive in here. I don't want to roll these pictures. Page down, page down, page down, page down. Okay, there we go. Okay, oh god, I missed something. We have an Oddish, a Gloom. Both of these are pretty bad. And then we're going to Blossom, which has Powerful Dance 90 times each. Energy attached to this Pokemon does 90 for each heads. That's very situational on a stage 2 especially, not very good. No Vileplume, which is interesting, because usually there's always like a fun Vileplume. By fun, I mean degenerate and completely game-breaking. So yeah. There's a Scyther here, a Shuckle. I like this art, it's cute. Mushroom Sensor Stick for a basic Pokemon, put it on your bench, then shuffle your deck. So just call for family. And then Guard Press 30, so nothing special either. We have a Combi. He looks so happy. Nothing here. No Vespiquen. Interesting. We have a Phantom. And then we have a Trevenant with an ability. Forest Spirit as long as this Pokemon's in the active, put 1 damage counter opponent's active during Pokemon checkup. So kind of like a Flygon ability, damage ticking. Triple Colorless, lock up 100, they can't retreat. Triple Colorless is a little bit hard to pull off, but I think like as a stage 1, this is a pretty cool ability. Definitely can be good with some sort of lock strategy, some sort of control strategy. I like Trevenant. Trevenant seems like a good card. Capsicid, there's 2 of them. And then there's a Scovillian. This Pokemon's ability is both Grass and Fire. Also weak to Fire, pretty funny. Grass, Close, 110, not affected by resistance. Okay, that's whatever. Charmander and Charmeleon. I know I've already seen the Charizard in this set, and it's pretty good. I think we'll get there in a second. I guess like all the... Oh yeah, they're all different types. That's right. I forgot about that. Vulpix and Ninetales. The Ninetales says 9 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon, and this Pokemon can't attack. So it's just like a really bad Sableye. I guess. Entei, as long as this Pokemon's in the active, your opponent's active Pokemon do 20 less damage. But this Pokemon has to be in the active, so it's only doing 20 less damage as Entei, which is 130 HP, which doesn't survive anything. So this guy is just bad. If it was like on your bench, maybe that'd be an insane ability, actually. Darumaka, Darmanitan, damage counter punch. If this Pokemon has any damage counters on it, this attack has 60 more damage. That's just really hard to pull off, I think. Heatmore, 30 plus 30 for each energy attached to your opponent's active, but it is fire energy, so that's the caveat for sure here. Ice Cube, as long as this Pokemon's on the bench, prevent all damage, tear. Yep. 3 water, Scalding Block, 160, discard energy. This Pokemon, the defending Pokemon can't attack. So it's an interesting attack for 3 waters, and water's easy to power up because you have Palkia and stuff like that, but it is a fire type attacker, which I don't know if this typing makes any sense. But I don't think this Terra type actually does anything. But we are finally starting to see Terra types in the TCG that aren't just like bench type, whatever. Like we actually see different typings of Pokemon, which is cool. Sharpedo is water plus 30, 10 plus 30 for each colorless in your opponent's active. Retreat, not very good. Tympole, Palpitoad, whatever. Let's go to the Seismitoad. Your opponent's attacks cost colorless more while this is in the active. 120 and then Echoed Voice is 100 more next turn. So this could be okay, but I just think like there's no like if this kind of ability exists, you need to have some sort of lock ability to like play over the lock strategy, not the way it is right now. Cubchoo and Bear Tick. If Tails discard all energy of this Pokemon, that's pretty bad. Cryogonal, if you go first and it's your first turn, your opponent's if you go second as your first turn, your opponent's active Pokemon's paralyzed. This card is for sure gonna see some play. Like Fast Freeze, this card is for sure going to see some play. People are going to like not think about this card at the first regionals or something. People are going to be playing this Fast Freeze Cryogonal, and all of a sudden you're going to get paralyzed and be like, I hate my life. So, Finizen, switch this Pokemon to your bench, then switch deck for cards that evolves and play this. This is actually pretty good too if you're playing anything with the Palafin. I don't really know what the Palafin does. I think we've talked about it. Maybe we haven't. Jet Punch, and then Justice Kick. This is a lot of damage, to be fair, with Justice Kick, so maybe this is actually a really cool ability, and it works, so we'll try it. I'm down to try a Palafin deck when it comes out. Tyranitar, F Mountain Crumble, 120, discard the top 2. Toll Rampage, 150, and if your bench damage, I have any damage counters, 100 more. So I guess it's a lot of damage on a lightning-type Pokemon with fighting-type attacks. So it should be interesting. I don't know if there's any lightning support that's necessarily really good that helps. Like things like electric generator or whatever can't be used with this card because we're looking for fighting type energy. So a little bit of a disappointment, but it's okay. Dynamo, electric, and then the Electros is suction, suck, or shock. Ooh, my bad. Ooh, yikes. The 60 to new active, flip if heads, then paralyzed. So it's a big commitment to just be like degenerate. Thunder is bad weather. This has bench barrier, but in the active, but the attack itself is 140 and 90 to itself. All right, very cool. Yeah, that sucks. Toxel, Toxicity, 50 plus 30 for each different type of Pokemon on your bench. It's like bad Rainbow Road. Rainbow Road was insane for what it was because nothing could kill Xerneas. Bulb, and then Belly Bolt. Prevent all damage on this Pokemon by attacks of lightning type Pokemon. There's no good lightning type, so this is kind of moot. Thunder Edge 100, and then no effects on the active. So that's pretty bad. These are cool abilities. I think, like, obviously, the scope of what the Sword and Shield cards are way too overpowered. So once a lot of these cards are gone, the game will be very, very different. Cleffa with Grasping Draw cards to 7. Seems okay, but everyone's playing Iono and stuff, so maybe not. Togepi, Togetic. Whiny Voice, 1 card from the hand, puts it into their deck. That's actually pretty good for control stuff. Shared Peace, player draw 3. That's interesting as well. And then Precious Gift, you may draw until you have 8 in your hand after an attack. So this whole line seems pretty interesting. I think I could see it being played in some sort of control strategy, obviously. Maybe not the Shared Peace guy, because this is like an attack. But you can Cleffa, or like not Cleffa, Togepi to disrupt, and then Togekiss to have a way to keep your hand full a lot of the time. I guess it doesn't deal with Ionos and Judges and stuff, but it puts your opponent on a clock to make sure they do it every single turn. Psychic Assault, 30 plus 10 for each damage counter, and they're paralyzed. That's not very good. Lunatone, if you have any Soul Rock, prevent all stadium cards done to your Pokemon. That's decent, actually. I don't know what stadium cards actually hurt you right now, but maybe there will be one down the line. Call for Family, search your deck. Nope. Soul Rock sucks. Unfortunate. L. Kaboom Doll, put damage counters until it's already 10, then does 120. So you can, there's no poison, like Hypnotoxic Laser, to make this card better, but it would be. Vespiquen EX, oh my, it's beautiful. Psychic type. Grass, heal 60 from one of your Pokemon, that's not great. 3 grass, 200, and then put 3 on each of your opponent's bench. So like a spread strategy, I like that, it makes sense with Psychic typing. Grievards, more Grievards. There's a lot of Grievards we've gotten, and Houndstones. Houndstone, rear kick 30. Psychic colors, 80 plus 120 if they have 2 or 4 prize cards left to struggle to the death. That's cute. Larvitar and Pupitar. We already saw the T-Tar, so it's kind of a spoiler. Nose Pass, just getting 2 guys. Bonsly, Beep Beep Cry. This is the first Bonsly card in like 16 years. Baby Pokemon have really been neglected over the years, so we'll see how they do that in the future. Custom Trap. They take 5 damage counters if you have a tool on this Stunfisk, and then you have Rumble. So I guess this card could actually be pretty decent. I don't know how good, but it could be like playable, I think. Diggersby though, not very good. Rockruff, Lycanroc, Finishing Fang, no damage counters on it. So you have to have damage counters on it first, and then you do 90 for fighting. That's terrible. That's just bad. Iron Wall, flip a coin, nothing, whatever. Glamora is the card I know a lot of people are talking about. Dustfield, as long as Pokemon's in the active. Your opponent can't have more than 3 bench Pokemon. If they have 4 bench, they have to discard. So basically, Glamora is a parallel city in the active as a stage 1, and then you have an attack that says 140 and they're poisoned. But you can put Glamora in the active while you're doing stuff with your bench, maybe setting up a Ting-Lu, maybe setting up a Koraidon, more fighting type attackers, like just throw Glamora into the active, use Koraidon to set up your board, use Poison Gem. Limit your opponent from playing the game. Lost Box suffers from 3 bench, very hard. Guardy suffers from 3 bench, very hard. Decks like Arceus will probably be fine, but they're weak to fighting type, so Glamora seems like a very, very good card overall. Charizard, ability Infernal Control. You may search deck for 3 fire, attach them to Pokemon any way you like, which is insane. And then Fire, 180 plus 30 for each prize card your opponent's taken, which is also a really good amount of damage because you're probably consistently swinging for 180 or 240 for a lot of the game. Especially for the stage 2 setup deck, you're probably swinging for 240 quite a bit. 330 HP with a grass type weakness is like really good because nothing is grass type in this format. So this Charizard could be like an absolutely insane card. Wooper, and then Venoshock. So poison, all the Quagsires are poison themed. There's another Umbreon card. This art's kind of goofy looking, but I mean, I'm going to get it anyway. I love Umbreon. Feint Attack, 50 to one of your opponent's Pokemon. Pitch Blade, 140 can attack. It's pretty bad. Pack Coordination, search your deck for a Dark attached to each one of your Houndours. And then Remote Assault on this one. For Hound, oh, it's Houndour. I was like, wow, this is a very strong Houndour. I was like, wait, this is just bad still. Absolute EX, so top 3 cards of each player's deck, put them back in any order, or either player, sorry. Definitely a control card here for Dark. You can just start controlling people's top decks. Cursed Slug 100 plus 120 for 3 or fewer. So basically, this is just a gigantic control card. Absol is just going to become a staple in some sort of control deck, as long as you can start controlling top decks, milling cards, limiting hand resources, whatever. And then eventually, rather than sitting there waiting to close out the game, you can start doing Cursed Slug as soon as you know your opponent has dead cards that they're drawing into. Dark Rye, Dark Slumber, Night Cyclone, pretty bad. Inkay Malamar. During your turn, you may use the ability of the top card of your opponent's deck and look at the top card of your deck. That's also another control card that seems pretty interesting. I mean, I guess looking at the top card of your deck is whatever, like, but looking at the top card of your opponent's deck, on a lighter note, like, you can put this into the Absol deck and kind of know that whether or not you want to use the ability or the first attack or second attack and just do damage. Punish Scissors 10 plus 50 for abilities, not great. Mawile has Special Eater. When you play this card from your hand, during the turn, we discard a special from opponent's active. So that's really good, actually, as well. Special Eater is probably going to be really, really good for control decks or just like a random tech card to deal with certain decks that have, like, V-Guard energy, for example. Probopass is crazy looking, but that's about it. Bisharp, Metal Cutter, 50 plus 20. If all of them heads, 120. Nothing crazy. King Gambit, execute if your opponent's active has 4 more damage counters. It's knocked out. Oh, that's pretty cool, but it's a stage 2, so I guess King Gambit needs a lot of setup to get there. Varoom. And then we have a Reveroom EX. Tune-up. This Pokemon may have 4 tools attached. And then Wild Rift is 170 and you take 30 less. I think 4 tools is a cool concept, and the attack is very... I'll say playable. It seems pretty decent. I think Reveroom could be pretty good. Sleepy Song, 110. And then they have to flip 2 coins to wake up, but switching cards beat this Altaria. Pidgeotto, and then Pidgeot is a callback to old time with the quick search Pidgeot, which should have been an EX back then, in 06. Once you're turn, you search your deck for a card, put it in your hand, then shuffle your deck. Pretty insane, but you have to commit like a one-on-one candy and a candy like requirement to the deck. So it doesn't actually become like broken, like turbo broken. But I think down the line, like post Sword and Shield rotation, this card's going to be really good, I think. Make its way into a lot of decks. So invest in the Pidgeot EX stonks early. Kangaskhan. There's an Eevee, Zigzagoon, Lanoon, Swablu, and the Stompy Stomp. What the Bumblebee? Lechonk, another Oinkologne. Pick and choose 3 cards. Put them in your head. Discard pile. It's okay. Coin flips suck for that kind of stuff. So 60-60 Snipe for Flamigo. It's okay again. Letters of Encouragement. If you can only play these cards if you're knocked out during your last turn, search deck for 3 basic cards, reveal them, put them in your hand. That's such a stupid clause, but like it's probably okay as a card. Patrol Cap. As long as you're in the active, your cards in your deck can't be discarded by opponent's attacks, abilities, item cards, Pokemon tools, or supporter cards. Okay, counter control card. Interesting. Revenge Punch. When you knock out, take 4 back. That's fine. Makes sense. That's like an interesting but staple like effect kind of thing. Gita. Until the end of the turn, none of your Pokemon can attack. Search your deck for 2 basic and attach them to 1 Pokemon. But you don't get to attack. So it has to be like a turn 1 supporter. That clause just makes this so bad, I think. Yeah. Sorry. Ortega. Look at the opponent's hand. Choose 1 card you find there. Put it on the bottom of your opponent's deck. Then your opponent may draw a card. That final clause is kind of stupid, but I think Ortega is still probably pretty good. Poppy, move 2 energy from one of your opponent, 1 Pokemon to another Pokemon. So it's a tag switch for not tag teams, but a supporter. Okay, I think this card's probably going to be good. Rhyme, draw 3 cards, switch your opponent's active to the bench. They choose a new one. So it's just rope, but one-sided rope, draw 3. I like the draw 3 effects. I think they're very cool and good for the game. Town Department Store, once during each player's turn, that player may search there for a Pokemon tool. Okay, cool. I like that. I like tool search as well, because we don't have tool search right now, besides Arven, because Earda doesn't do it anymore. It's literally only Arven. Only Arven is our tool search, which is whatever. No one wants to play Arven. And then League HQ, basic Pokemon is both one colorless more. Definitely a counter to Lost Box and to things like United Wings, basically. So, all that being said, I think Rule of the Black Flame should be a lot of fun when it actually ends up coming out. Our first English tournament with that will be in Pittsburgh for the regionals, so you guys please check that out. Once the season details are announced, I will have them all here on the channel, so please like, subscribe, and follow whatever the channel, and you'll have this information as soon as possible. Thank you as always for watching, guys. Peace out. Have a good one.